somebody just called a few minutes ago and said, if only during Gulf War I, when George Bush went to the defense of the dictatorship of Kuwait. Because after all, we got to defend our dictator friends. It's bizarre. And invited the daughter of the Kuwaiti ambassador to lie to Congress and say that she was a nurse and she saw babies being thrown out of incubators, which did not happen. And Saddam Hussein had asked April Gillespie, our person, our basically ambassador to him, do you mind if I take my, because Kuwait was slant drilling into his oil wells. He said, and it used to be one of the provinces of Iraq, 37th province, I think he said, you mind if I take back the 37th province? And she was like, this is your internal affairs. It's not our big deal. And this guy says, well, if we'd only gone to Baghdad, we would have solved the problem. Well, first of all, Saddam Hussein was running a secular state. Women did not have to cover themselves up. They could go to college. There were women doctors. There were women teachers. There were women college professors. Baghdad prior to the first Gulf War was considered the Paris of the Middle East. It was one of the most developed and advanced countries in the Middle East. Saddam Hussein was no nice guy. I mean, he punished his enemies horribly. But to this day, that goes on in Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Bahrain and the UAE. And I mean, pick your ally, Jordan. None of them are small d Democrats. But Dick Cheney had some thoughts on that. And here's what Dick Cheney had to say. And I think he was right.
Once you got to Iraq and took it over and took down Saddam Hussein's government, then what are you going to put in its place? That's a very volatile part of the world, and if you take down the central government in Iraq, you can easily end up seeing pieces of Iraq fly off. Part of it the Syrians would like to have to the west. Part of eastern Iraq, the Iranians would like to claim, fought over for 8 years. In the north, you've got the Kurds, and if the Kurds spin loose and join with the Kurds in Turkey, then you threaten the territorial integrity of Turkey. It's a quagmire.
Right, and he was right. Now, that was when he was the defense secretary for George Herbert Walker Bush, or whatever his role was in the administration. Yes, I think he was SecDef, but I'm not sure. But in any case, he was, Jim, you say? Yeah, okay, great. So Cheney was right then. Cheney was wrong in 2001. Now, the fact that Halliburton was just about to go out of business because when Cheney was CEO in 2000, A, he was illegally dealing with Iran, which he could have gone to prison for, and B, he had engineered the year before in 1999 the acquisition of Dresser Industries, which had a huge asbestos liability on the assumption that the government would cap that asbestos liability, which didn't happen. And so that acquisition of Dresser suddenly was taking down Halliburton. Halliburton was just about to go out of business. Cheney's sitting on thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, who knows, of shares of Halliburton stock. In fact, it was one of the contentious things as we went into the election of 2000. And his shares were worth virtually nothing. They're worth $33 a share right now. I mean, Halliburton has done very well. Thank you very much. To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.